Okay, we should be good to go.
All right, thanks, Tyler. Well, good afternoon, everybody. I'd like to call to order the January 25th, 2021 meeting of the Sangamon Mass Transit District to order, please. If I could, I'd like to have a roll call.
Good evening, everybody. Chairman Brewer, Dansko,
Here.
Lassara,
Here.
Copley,
Here.
and Doss is absent, and McCarthy.
Here.
Scheffel,
Here.
Reed,
Here.
Ashford. You can wave it. Malcolm.
Here.
Okay. And I think Jason Sass is here too, right? Yep.
That's correct.
And Douglas.
Oh, I'm sorry, Sandra.
That's okay.
Douglas, we're done.
Okay.
Sorry.
Oh, thanks very much, Eric. I appreciate it. Good afternoon, everybody. I guess I'd say Happy New Year. I think our first meeting since we crossed over into the new year, and it feels a lot like 2020, to be quite honest with you. So it looks like some of these remote meetings and some of the remote work initiatives, et cetera, are going to have to be maintained for a while longer. So keep your fingers crossed. And I'd just say, just during these times, I think Sandra mentioned it last meeting, but communications is the biggest tool that we have. So I appreciate everybody's continued efforts in that respect. So, okay. And I guess as Wynn said, it's nice to be working from the house remotely in this kind of weather. So,
Yeah.
okay. So let's jump into it. We have a number of things to discuss today. First up is the approval of the minutes from the regular meeting from December 21st, 2020. Trustees should have received those in their packets previously. Was there any comments or questions?
This is when somehow I was listed as making a motion when I was not at the meeting. So I just wanted to let you guys know I was not there to make that motion. So you'll need to update that.
Yeah, I noted that when on my last review, I didn't get that changed. I apologize. If the board will also note, I had a Scribner's error on adjournment. I failed to note the trustees making the motion. So I'll make those updates though, but I believe the board can still approve the minutes with those two corrections to be made.
Yeah, minor error. So if we get those corrected, is there any other comments, any other findings? If not, I'll look for a motion.
I make a motion, we approve the regular meeting minutes of December 21st, 2020.
Second.
Okay, first and second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay, and just as a side note, I will notice that, you know, during all the COVID restrictions and a lot of these Zoom meetings, I think a best practice is maybe to say your name. I know I've read it in a couple articles, but
Right.
you know, say your name when you're making the motion in the second, and we'll go from there. So that way we can kind of eliminate that. But okay, very good. Let's jump into some reports if we can, or actually let's jump back. I'm sorry, Managing Director Steve, do you have any comments today?
I get just a few. The transition here since Frank left is going well. We're continuing our weekly briefings that we started back when I became the deputy manager with Eric, Melissa, and I meeting every Monday or the first day. Leadership team is meeting monthly, and that is our mostly supervisors, the superintendents, some of the managers. Josh is in there. We meet monthly to talk about the direction of the district, and we've got a speaker that comes occasionally from the Dale Carnegie speaking group out of Peoria that's done a really good job with us talking about employee engagement and how we fix morale. So those things are going on. Vaccines, we're 1B, and public transportation workers are included in that. However, in Sangamon County, they just made the announcement that they're going to focus on 85-year-olds and older first before they do the rest of 1B. So right now, there's hardly any vaccines in Sangamon County. There's a supply issue statewide and I think nationwide. So we'll just have to be patient to get our folks through that. But we are encouraging them to get the vaccine when they can. I'm unaware of any employees at this point that have been able to schedule an appointment yet. So that's sort of where we are on vaccines. The offices reopened today, and that is to get us ready in the next few weeks for our plans to start collecting fare again on March 15th. Now that's contingent on what the numbers look like, what ridership looks like, but we've had some issues with some passengers not treating drivers well, some issues with our road supervisors having to handle a lot of problems that they don't normally have to handle. And I think part of that is some of the passengers that are riding only because it's free and they don't normally ride. So the sooner we can get back to collecting fare, put it sort of back to a normal situation, the better off I think everybody's going to be. Did anybody have any questions about the fare? Going back to fare?
I just would like to remind everyone that all of the barriers are installed in all of the vehicles now. So I think we feel comfortable if we do go back outside of vaccinations that may or may not have been done. We've put a lot of thought into it, and we do feel we're protected well. So
just a couple more things. The transportation center, our part of it is that it's about 60% design. We're starting to get into the more technical parts of exactly where fixtures have to go and how wiring has to be done. So we'll be getting something to everybody to take a look at here pretty soon when we've got a little bit better drawing to share. We're internally here working to start the budget process for 2022. We have so far fared well with our DOPE funding, but we don't know how long that's going to hold out. So the remaining CARES Act money that we have, plus the money from the second stimulus that just passed earlier this year, is sort of in limbo until we know exactly what the effects of the next state budget are going to be on our operating. So that's just a really quick overview of some budget things that are going on, and we're going to start talking about projects, personnel, all of that kind of stuff internally here as we move closer to the spring when we do the regular budget stuff in the meetings. So finally, the only other thing I have left is we may start looking at repurposing the current boardroom space. We've met a couple of times in the training room. That room allows us to spread out a little bit more anyway. But with the boardroom configured the way it is, we really can only use it for the occasional training and board meetings. So we have a room kind of designed to be used once a month that we can repurpose into some offices and move our board meetings. But there'll be more discussion about that as we get closer to making a decision on whether we are going to go forward with that. I just wanted to kind of throw it out there as something to think about moving forward once we get out of the Zoom meeting phase of all of our board meetings right now. Oh, we have Jerry on. That's all I have, Brian.
Okay. Thanks very much, Steve. Is there any questions or comments for Steve at this time from anyone?
I have a comment. I really like the ads I see,
Oh, good.
especially using the actual people who are driving and having them comment. I think they're very well done and effective.
Great. Thank you.
Yes, I thought so too. This is Win.
Okay. You know, I just say, Steve, I appreciate the added communication and your efforts in terms of the emails, updates. I think those are well received by the board. So keep those up. We appreciate it.
Okay.
Yes, we do.
Okay, let's move along to some reports then. First up was the December cash disbursements. Eric had those prepared and previously should have been received. Is there anything, Eric, that you would like to address?
I'm really sorry, but I'm getting a lot of feedback. Could everybody please mute their mics if they're not speaking?
Yes, I'm not sure if you could hear that, but if you're not speaking, please be on mute. Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
Hi, thank you. I just wanted to point out to the board that they may have noticed a large number of voids with our second check run there in the week of Christmas. We did our check run early, and it happened to coincide at the same time our FleetNet system was up, doing a system update. So it threw the printing parameters off that we were accustomed to, and that's why we had to avoid that run. So other than that, everything else is normal and customary.
Okay, thanks, Eric. Any questions or comments for Eric? If not, I'll look for a motion.
This is Leslie. I'll make a motion that we approve the December cash disbursements.
This is Sandra. I second the motion.
Okay, we have a first and second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay, very good. We have approval of the December cash disbursements. Thank you. Let's move on to some of our committee reports. First up is our Finance and Investment Committee. Wynn and Jerry, do you have anything to add?
I don't have anything, so I defer to Eric.
Eric, I would just like to say that we'd be willing to meet with you and or whatever, do anything that we can during these times that are upcoming for the budget discussion.
Excellent. We'll get that scheduled. I just wanted to point out for the board that I thought Tim did a really nice job with his explanation of where we're at with CARES Act dollars and the notes to the financial statements. Moving on from there, in addition to the office supplies, where we're noting a large expenditure variance due to some computer purchases earlier in the year. You'll see that again next month. We just bought a round of 6 that'll serve both as refreshing current desktop and to support remote laptop uses as well. But other than that, I thought Tim did a nice job with notes, and if there's any questions, I'm happy to answer.
Okay. Thanks, Eric. Anything further there? Okay, let's go ahead and we'll move along to the Operations Committee today. Sandra and Sue, anything from your areas?
No, I would like to defer to Melissa.
We've been holding steady with our ridership. If you guys recall, the first 2 full months we had with our COVID response, our ridership was down approximately 60%. It gradually started to come back once June and July came around. Since then, we've consistently averaged 32% short of ridership the previous year. It's been consistent. Those numbers in itself really lend us to make the decision to go back to fares as well. Coincidentally, paratransit ridership, it's eerily similar. I don't know how they tie together, but they do. It's usually 2 different groups of riders, but their passengers our ridership is down 32% as well. So it's pretty consistent across the board. Hopefully, as vaccines get out, we'll start seeing those numbers come back. More businesses opening up, fully. Other than that, everything went well. We didn't really have any closures today with our first second of the year, a little bout of snow. So we did pretty good. They did great out there handling it. I'm gonna knock on some wood. We didn't have any accidents or incidents that I was made aware of. So we'll monitor for tomorrow. Hopefully tomorrow's mild too. We'll see. Other than that, I don't think we have anything else major going on. Everything's going pretty good.
Thank you. I appreciate it. And I do believe we're going to be moving up because things are opening up now and they're going to be busier. And so I think we will be doing the same.
I do too. We're hopeful. We're looking for that normal. We're going on a year come March. So it's been a long time.
A long time.
Yeah. Oh, I would mention our, with school back in session, we did have our school trippers out there, not knowing what ridership was going to be, how many students would be going back to a hybrid model. Some are hit and miss. We do have some students riding, and none of them are in double digits each trip daily, but we'll monitor those, and hopefully, more students will need those and when they finally get back into schools. I don't know if it'll happen before the end of this year, but we'll keep them out there in case a student does need a ride. It'll always be there. And that's about it.
Thanks again.
You're welcome.
Okay, very good. We appreciate everybody's efforts and operations, especially with the added inconvenience of the weather. So I'll pass that along. Administration, Leslie and Karen, is there anything from your respective area today?
No, nothing to report.
Mm-mm.
Okay, all right. Let's move along. Planning Commission report. Jason's with us. Jason, how are you doing? Happy New Year.
Doing well. Happy New Year. First thing to report, of course, as you can see behind me, is that we are working from home, but the office is not closed. So there's always going to be a senior planner there in the office in case somebody needs something from us. So if you need to get a hold of me, you can get a hold of me through email. That's the easiest way to do it because I am working from home, but we'll always have somebody in the office just in case. The other thing we're doing in transportation is we're updating the Envision bicycle networks and priority pedestrian networks. And we're doing that in preparation of building basically an application, a computer app that people can go on there and take a look at that and how it works and how the bicycle and pedestrian networks mesh in with the regular transportation network as well as the bus transit network. So that's what we're currently working on at the Planning Commission.
Okay, very good. Does anybody have any questions or comments for Jason? Okay. Jason, any bigger initiatives outside of our area that you want to pass along or that we should be aware of?
We haven't heard anything yet as far as, are you talking like federal initiatives for for transit or anything?
Yeah, just to start off the year.
Yeah, we haven't heard anything about that yet. We're just kind of, like we're waiting. We do know that we received our regular surface transportation allotment for FY 2022, but that was what we'd already had planned for the last, since about 3-4 years ago. So that hasn't changed or gone up this year. So if anything does get approved by Congress, or if anything shakes out in this new Relief Act, we'll let everybody know.
Okay. Very good. Well, again, we appreciate you keeping us abreast of anything that's happening. And obviously, we look forward to the partnership again this year. If you could pass that along to everyone.
I will do that.
Okay. Thanks very much. And last, under reports, we have the Disabled Persons Advisory Committee. I know Pete isn't on, but Steve, I think you have a few comments to report from Pete. And our motto for this year continues. Steve, you're on mute.
I think that's the first time I've ever done that. I guess it happens to everybody.
The first one all year. Oh my goodness.
I talked to Pete in a quick email today, and he just said that he couldn't make the meeting and that the advisory committee did meet, and they agreed to have their next meeting after March 15th when we start collecting fares again. So that was all he had to report.
Okay, very good. We'll look forward to working with Pete again this year as well. So, okay, that'll do it for reports. Looks like we have a couple pieces of new business under that heading. A couple authorizing resolutions to address. The first one is in relation to the COVID Relief Act. And Melissa, I believe you're going to address that one for us.
That'd be Stephanie.
It's going to be Stephanie.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry.
I was like,
Sorry to put you on the spot. Stephanie, I apologize.
It's okay. Consideration of the CRRSAA Federal Section 5307 authorizing resolution. The Federal Transport Administration announced a total of $14 billion in federal funding allocations to continue to support the nation's public transportation system during the coronavirus disease 2019 COVID-19 public health emergency. Funding is provided through Coronavirus Response and Relief Supplemental Appropriation Act of 2021, signed in December. FTA previously announced $25 billion in coronavirus aid, relief, and economic security, the CARES Act funding in April of 2020. And these funds are in addition to the CARES Act appropriate received by SMTD. Staff recommends the board adopt the resolution as presented. This is a precursor to allow SMTD to proceed with application and finalization of the awards through the FTA TRAM system. The financial impact of this is we will be receiving $2,878,187 has been appropriated to SMT by FTA. These funds are 100% reimbursable, meaning no local share for qualified expenses as required. So basically those expenses are COVID expenses. This is in addition to a 7.6 million we received back in April through the CARES Act. Both are 100% reimbursable. And then there's a motion.
Yes. Do we have any further discussion? I assume everybody likes it when we receive additional funds.
No kidding.
There's no questions or comments for Steph at this time. I'd look for a motion.
This is Sandra. I make a motion to accept the staff's recommendation, adopt the CRRSAA 5307 authorizing resolution.
This is when I second.
Okay, we have a first and second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Is there anybody opposed? Very good. We have approval for that authorizing resolution. And we have one more resolution as it relates to the federal section 5307 funds, and much to the delight of Melissa, Steph, I believe you're going to address that one as well too.
I will. Melissa, you're off the hook. This would be our normal 5307 appropriations for the year. They're actually out early this year. Congress passes legislation which, when signed by the president, appropriates funds for the Department of Transportation and related agencies. After that legislation is enacted, FTA publishes a notice in the Federal Register that provides an overview of the appropriations and allocations based on these funds from the various FTA programs, as well as statements of policy and guidance on public transit administration. Attaches the proposed authorizing resolution with the tables detailing the FY 2021 full year section 5307 appropriations. Staff recommends the board adopt the resolution as presented. This is a precursor to allow SMTD to proceed with application and finalization of award through FTA. This amount is $2,974,702, and these funds are directly linked to revenue miles driven throughout the prior year. SMD has seen an average of 3.03 growth in $5307 from 2017 to 20. This year's appropriations represents a 10.3 increase, which in part is driven by the increase in revenue miles from 2019-2020. And I believe the board motion should just be 5307.
Okay,
It won't be a second CRRSAA.
right. Is there any questions or additional comments regarding this? If not, I'll look for a motion here.
So we're approving the section 5307. Is that what she said? That's it?
Yes, this is just our normal 5307. Both the emergency funds, CARES Act, all of that comes under the 5307, which just means we have to spend the money accordingly.
Okay, so I move to approve we're considering, but I move to approve the FY22 federal section 5307.
This is Leslie. I second.
Oh, this was Sue. I'm sorry. Sue.
Okay. Thank you. We have a motion first and second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Is there anybody opposed? Very good. We have approval for that second authorizing resolution. And thanks, Stephanie. I know special skill set to go through all the information that's presented and apply it to how it relates to the district. So we appreciate all your efforts and look forward to working with you again this year. Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Well, I think that conducts new business up to this point. And I know we'll have to go into a closed meeting. So I guess I would ask if there's anybody out in the public joining our forum today, if there's any public comments that we could address prior to going into the closed meeting.
It looks like we have a question from Jane Ford about public notice of route changes because of the 5th Street closing starting on Friday. That announcement went up on the website and Facebook, I believe, this afternoon. So it'll be closed for 2 weeks. It only affects our Route 12, 3 stops along Route 12. So that information should have gone out this afternoon.
Okay. I hope that answers your query, Jane. And on behalf of the board and the district, we appreciate everything you do out there in the community and look forward to working with you again this year. Is there anything else, Steve, that you see from public comments?
Not right now. Nope. Just Jane.
Okay. Well, as usually the case, the closed meeting challenge begins, and this we have the added challenge of jumping off this Zoom meeting and going to another one. So I guess I would allow you, Steve, to give us a little bit of direction just for everybody's benefit before we do this.
But since Tyler's on here, I'm just going to have him do it because he's the one that's been playing around with it.
Yeah, the other meeting is actually ready to go. You should have received a link that Steve emailed to you. If you go to that meeting now, I will remain in this one and put up a please stand by sort of a title card. And then it'll keep going. I'll keep the stream going on Facebook. Once you guys get back, we'll resume.
We'll have to make a motion. Go ahead, Russ.
Yeah, that's
Well,
what I was going to say. We need to make a motion to
We will.
close this meeting and go to the closed meeting.
Yeah, I just want to make sure we have instructions. So Tyler, do we need to actually log out of this current meeting?
Yeah, it won't allow you to be in both at the same time, most likely with the regular accounts you have. So you'll want to get out of this meeting and log into that other one, and then log
Okay.
back into this one once you're done.
And I'm sure the rest of the trustees will have no issues. This is just uncharted territory for me. So, all right. Does anybody have any questions and understand?
I do probably of Tyler. Tyler,
Yes.
this is Sue. Okay, I'm afraid to mess anything up. So I'm listening. I've got the meeting on my iPad, but I'm listening on my phone. Okay. So, and I've got the closed meeting Zoom information on my phone. So if I just click on that'll put me in the closed meeting, right?
Yeah, it may even prompt you to close out of this one. It may do that automatically.
Okay.
That's
All
the
right.
case.
Thank you. All right. Okay. All right.
Okay, Tyler, you can see both at the same time?
Yes, for this one I can, yes.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and go over that then.
Okay.
Wait, somebody
We need
needs
to
to
make a motion.
Yeah. Well, I was just going to ask for that. As long as everybody's clear on our instructions. If there's no more questions for Tyler, then I will look for a motion to close the open and open a closed meeting.
I'll move that we close the open meeting and open the closed meeting to discuss. I can't remember, there was a short.
Personnel issues.
Personnel.
Is that enough?
Do we have to say the time?
At 5:03 PM.
Yeah, I've got the time. I keep the time for you.
Okay.
Do we have a motion? All right,
This is
Stephanie.
this is when I'll second.
Okay. Stephanie, did you have something?
I was just waving goodbye, but
Okay. Okay. Well, yes, for anybody that isn't joining us back in the open meeting, we appreciate everything. Have a great evening. All right. We have a first and second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay. Well, I will see you on the other side.
Yeah.
Fingers
Hopefully
crossed.
that is, right?
All right. So is that you on the iPad?
I'm here. Yes.
Very
This
good.
is my, let me see if I can do this.
Okay.
It's not letting me, for some reason, it's not letting me undo open the video. I don't know why it's doing that.
Well, on my phone, I had to click start video down at the bottom, but I don't know on your
Yeah,
iPad.
I'm on my iPad.
Well,
Not
hopefully,
overhead.
hopefully this will only be about 5 minutes or less.
Yeah, we can hear you though, Sue.
Yeah, no, that's
There I
good.
am.
There you go.
You're okay?
Yeah.
Okay, all right then.
Gallery.
Okay, we had a,
Okay.
all right. We have a first and second, and we had approval to close the closed meeting and reopen the Sangamon Mass Transit District meeting of January 25th, 2021, back to open session at 5:19 PM. We have one additional piece of business to come before the Board of Trustees today. And I'll turn that over to the Administrative Committee.
Would you like to make the motion?
My Zoom isn't working.
I'll go ahead.
All right.
I move that we accept the employment agreement for Steve Shuffle. Rusty, do you want me to read some of the figures or?
We've already approved the salary, so it just needs to be approved as discussed in the closed meeting. And
Okay,
subject to my drafting it and the signature of Steve.
okay. So I move we accept the employment agreement as discussed. And we'll leave it to Rusty to finalize it as we've discussed. And it began on January 1 of 2021. And it will be for 1.5 years.
I second it.
Okay, we have a first and second. Eric, I believe you're still with us, but could we have a roll call, please?
Yes, sir. Douglas,
Yes.
Copley,
Yes.
McCarthy,
Yes, I don't know what happened there that I got cut off.
Doss,
Yes.
Hasara,
Yes.
Datsko,
Yes.
and Brewer.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, I know we've already congratulated Steve, but just on behalf of the Board of Trustees, congratulations once again. 6 hard years of work has paid off, and we look forward to working with you again for many more, okay?
Thank you.
All right. Is there any additional business to come before the Board of Trustees today?
Is nobody gonna say nice haircut to Sue?
You know,
I curled it, Eric. Oh my God.
Nice
I was
photograph.
bored.
Eric is a nice photograph, I think.
yeah.
Yeah. And Rusty, did you see Rusty's photograph?
Yeah, it was good.
There? I like that,
Okay.
Rusty.
I guess I'll just say everybody looks good, and I'm proud of everybody for all the motion that was the open and closed meeting. So great job, everybody. And again, to all the trustees, I appreciate everybody's hard work behind the scenes. I know we come together on a monthly basis during this forum, but I know there's a lot of hard work that goes on, even, that people don't usually see. So great team. Looking forward to working with each and every one of you. And if there's no more further business, I'll look for a motion to adjourn.
This is
I make a motion, we adjourn. This is Leslie.
This is Sandra, second.
Okay, first and second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Very good. The meeting is adjourned. Stay well, everybody, and take care.
See you next month.
You too.
you.
Congratulations,
Bye.
Steve.
Bye.